Let's take a look at this place. And one of the things you wanted to know was if it fits formula, Charisma. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
I did, yeah, definitely. I did the math on it,
Okay.
bedroom, and then the area, Fairport could be pricey. That's where it kind of was like, do I even still go out
Well,
there?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, this is new to you, so this is something you wouldn't know, but I'm gonna talk to you about a couple quick things regarding what you just said. You said about pricey, right? And the way we look at this stuff is I'm not necessarily looking. I'm looking at price only from, well, it's from two perspectives. One perspective is it when we say pricey, the one perspective is it, does it fit formula? And what does it mean when I say fit formula? It means, do you know what it means when I say does it fit formula?
Can I afford it with the rent and 2x to 4x my
Right.
income
Right.
possibly?
So it's not if you can afford formula based, if, right. And in this case, you said the rent is how much?
2750.
2750. Now, the other thing is the second part of that question when you talk about price is yes. You, so you might have heard programs where they things like that, but some people don't have the ability to come out of their pocket with 10 grand and then they got to furnish it too. So that's about affordability for you. But if it fits formula and you have the ability to get it, you're going to make a lot more money a lot faster, because the same amount of energy that you put into putting together that place that's generating $5,000 a month is the same amount of energy you're going to put into the to a place that's only generating $1,500 a month. Same time, same amount of energy, and only thing that's different is the money. But same time and energy, if you can make 1,500 versus if you can make 5,000 with the same amount of time that you can make 1,500 on, then what would you choose? The 5,000, right? Because why are we in this? We're in this for the purposes of getting that financial freedom faster. And the thing that allows us to get that faster is cash flow, right? Cash flow is the key. Cash flow is the thing that allows us to get our time back. Getting your financial independence doesn't mean you're rich. It just means that the 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 income that you're generating, the cash flow you're generating, is enough to support your lifestyle without you having to go punch a clock. That's financial independence. And then what you do is you leverage that time to be able to do the things that are higher return type activities. So like for instance, 5,000 versus 1,500. If you could do another one of those, now instead of making $5,000 a month after your rent's paid, now you're making 10. And then you do another one, and instead of making $10,000 a month, you're making 15, right? After your rent is paid. And here's the beauty of it. After you get that first one, then like if you had to borrow on credit cards, if you had to borrow from friends or whatever to get that first one, then the second one, because it's generating the cash flow and you're generating 5 to 10 to 15,000 a month in revenue off of that place, where do you think the money's going to come from to pay for the second one? The first one, the cash flow. So it grows organically. And then when you get another one, same thing. So this is the only scenario. Y'all know, you know where I'm going with this. This is the only scenario where we want babies having babies. What kind of babies we talking about?
Money babies.
Money babies. Right, money babies. So that money, we're gonna put that money to work. The money's gonna have babies, gonna make more money, it's gonna make profit. And then what we're gonna do is reinvest those babies, that money babies. And the money babies gonna have more babies, and the babies have more babies, more. And then what starts to happen is now not only are your assets growing, meaning the cash producing assets, but also your bank account will start growing too. Because you don't have to reinvest every little penny after you get to what I like to call critical mass. When you get to critical mass, where you got maybe $100,000, $50,000 a month that you're just reinvesting. So if you got, and it may not even be that, like that's a lot of growth. That's 10 places at 5,000. You don't really need that. You might only be investing maybe 10,000, reinvesting $10,000 a month. So now with $10,000 a month, on average, places aren't $5,000 a month. On average, they might be $2,000 to $3,000. On average, if it's $2,500 a month, then you got first month's rent, security deposit, that's 5. Then you got maybe another 3, 4 to furnish it if you're doing it yourself. Then now you're at about 7 to 9 to pick up a place, and then you're picking up another place that's generating you another $5,000 to $7,000 a month, right? And then you just continue to just stack up. I personally, as I look at those numbers, I think critical mass is when you get to a place where like you're picking up 2 or 3 at a time a month. Now, by the end of the year, you'll easily be, by the end of the year, if you do that constantly, let's just say 12 months, let's just say your first 12 months, it takes you about 4 or 5 months to finally get to the point where you're picking up 2 or 3. Let's just say 2 a month. So 2 a month, if you pick up 2 a month and you're generating, let's say $5,000 a month off of 2 places every month. So 2 a month for the next, let's say 6 months. So 6 months, 2 a month, you're picking up for $5,000 each per place. 2 times 2, that's 10. 10 times 6, that's $600,000. $600,000 2 times 5 is 10. So that's 10,000 a month. And if you do that 6 times, you're at $60,000 a month. So now your cash flow is up to 60 grand a month, over $600,000, $700,000 a year. And you're only doing that at a clip of 2 places a month. So most people lose focus when they get to their first 3, 4, 5 because they think they did something, but that's not what you want to do. So I just did the math anyway. Let's answer the question now. Formula. So formula, you said this one is how much? Does that make sense to you guys so far? I didn't lose anyone, did I? Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Okay.
The price I was looking at is $2,750.
$2,750. How much?
3-bedroom.
For a 3-bedroom. How much did you determine though that it can get per night?
So there was something out in Fairport, but like I did disagree with Rochester, so I was looking at, I think I priced it at $50 a night.
50 a night. So, all right, let me hold on a second here. I'm gonna create a new page. What I would like to do though is
the highest like 100.
So you said All right, so it's 2750, and we'll just get in the calendar. So 2750, and you said it's 3 bedrooms. How many baths?
1.5.
Okay, so they're all both shared baths. So 1.5 baths, and you said $50 a night.
Yeah.
All right, so this is how we're gonna look at formula. So this is how you do it now. We'll determine we'll determine how much you can actually pay, and then we'll see if it makes sense. So what we're saying is $50 a night times 3 equals $150 a night when everything is occupied. So when everything is occupied is $150 a night times 30 nights out of the month is $4,500. Right? So $4,500 when everything is occupied at 100% occupancy. However, we know that in estate, in life in general, nothing is perfect. There's only one thing that's perfect, that's him. But nothing is perfect. There's always going to be something that doesn't go right. But when it comes to also historically, we've hosted 10,000 nights over. So we go on occupancy perspective. So we're not going to base anything on anything. We know on average, if you optimize your listings that year. So we're down to, however, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to knock it down to 40%. So if I know 40% occupancy, by 20, you might just go get a job, right? We're in this for independence and freedom, and the way we do it, 'we ain't being fair to them at our expense either. We want to make sure we're making as much as they are or more, right? And so this only landlords are landlords who have places that meet forms, doing a little researching.
Exactly gonna say that.
What I'm gonna do is like this 20. If I subtract 1,800 from that, no, let's back up. So we said I say, okay, at 80% occupancy, when you be bringing in. So if I multiply this times point, say I'm going to bring in $3,600, that's going to be $50 benefit formula because it ain't 2 to 3 times. 800 a month. By you pay your utilities and take care of all the maintenance, you only got a few $100s left in your pocket, right? And like I said,
That was more than helpful. Just so this one I started sending out like when, you're just like send them out to see what you get, no matter if it's formula.
Yeah.
Did that. Now, I looked because I saw this one on Facebook Marketplace. He actually has other apartments or rentals in like Rockport. So
Okay.
do I still go to this meeting even though I know it isn't fit formula to build rapport and just like maybe later on?
That's a great question, actually. That's a great question. So, and the reason why it's a great question is because what this business is about it's about oh, it sucks because I don't think what I was showing on the screen that everyone couldn't see because I was showing it on Zoom. So so it kind of sucks. I was sharing the wrong thing. So uh let's see. I'm gonna see if I can let me see if I can get it back. So for you all who didn't see that, my apologies. I was sharing on the wrong platform, and so I'll just see if this will work, and if this works, cool. If it doesn't, then put a comment in that that I need to get my tech squared away. Just type in that. So I'm gonna share my screen again, and and what so to answer your question, so here's the numbers that I went through right here. But to answer the question, it's a great question. Yeah, I would go. And the reason why I would go is because when you get two things done, you don't have to be about, if you're not going to do it or not. The reason why you're going to, because this place, even though it doesn't fit formula, this guy has multiple places, and it is going to be about relationship. However, what you could do is you don't necessarily have to be there and waste time. You could actually still kind of feel things out a little bit before you get there, and just you could let them know that you really like the place. Just from a pricing perspective, it's not out of your budget. I wouldn't say that. Don't say it's out of budget. I would just say that it from a pricing perspective, it's more than what you were looking to spend for a 3-bedroom, right? Because they know what you're going to be using it for. And remember, like I'm using these places to host my guests, and my budget for these for a 3-bedroom is a lot less. Now, my question is, did you check those numbers? Was 50 the right number out there? Did you send the number to Rosa so she could actually look at it too?
No, I didn't send it to Rosa.
Yeah, you should. Like send the place to Rosa.
It would be lesser.
Say again?
I said it couldn't even be lesser. I thought I was kind of like being generous on 50.
Oh,
So
well,
it's like 100. It was like $100, and then the lowest was like probably 30.
yeah.
So I saw a lot of 46, a lot of 50s, a lot of 65, whatever.
Well, if you saw a lot of 65s, let's take a look and see what that looks like at 65. Because a lot of times when we're too conservative, if we're too conservative, we mess ourselves up, right? In this case, it's telling us that formula means it's still all out of formula, because it would say that at 85 at $65 a night, we'd be generating 50 at 80%. Well, at $65 a night, we would generate $5,850 per month at 100% occupancy. At 80% occupancy, it would be $4,680. Right, 4,680. When we subtract 2,750 from that, it only leaves us with $1,930. Most people would say, "Well, that's pretty good. Like, even after I pay, I'm still keeping about $1,500 in my pocket." Yeah, that's cool, but here's the difference. If you're desperate, that's good. But when you realize that there are places out there that fit formula where you're going to get that 2 to 3 times, then why settle for anything less? Right? Don't be desperate. So in this case, at $65 a night, it still doesn't work. However, when you tell him what your numbers would look like, so what I would do is I would say for something like this, so I would knock this down to 40 and see what I can actually pay for one. For something like this, I was expecting to pay somewhere around 2,000, 2,100. I would say. And then he would just say, oh yeah, I wouldn't. But if you have anything else, I'm still very interested, because remember, I'm using the place to host my clients, my professional client, my clients when they come in from out of town on business, and instead of sending them to a hotel. So that being the case, like I have a certain budget that I'm looking to be within. Don't say it's too expensive. Don't say that. Don't say you can't afford it. That's definitely not what you want to say, because you can. If you wanted to do it, you can, but it's just got to make sense. Remember, everything has got to be win-win. We're not trying to take advantage of them, but we ain't gonna let them take advantage of us either, right?
Right.
And so you could say that, and then you save yourself a trip, because if he doesn't, if he's got other places and he's willing to, if he says, yeah, I got some other places, then
Right. Yes.
I had this conversation with him, realized that none of his places work, and that's going to let's just say this place does work, right? Let's say this place was 2350. Let's just say that. Let's say $2,200, right? So now it fits formula. Let's see. This is why when we talk about being disciplined with what we're doing, because it fits formula, because we only need formula it's a little out of formula. They're saying we could pay 2340 for it at formula, but it's out of formula by $90. Would I do it? I'm not sure. Again, but let's just say it fits formula, right? So at formula, let's say 80%. Let's say 80% is what we'd be getting. We'd be making $2,430 from the place. Actually, it does fit formula. I'm sorry. Yeah, it fits formula, because it's saying we could pay up to 2,300 and it's only 2,250. So yeah, it fits formula. It's within formula by $90. So that's pretty good. And what it's showing is that you'll be making, after you pay your rent, you'll be keeping in your pocket $2,430. And then when you multiply that times 12, I'm going to tell you in a minute why I'm showing you this. That means for this place, you'll be generating your profit will be roughly around $30,000 a year, right? Your total cash flow is going to be closer to 60, but you'll be keeping about $30,000 a year in your pocket. Now, this is the reason why we're disciplined with our time, because that time that you go over there and he doesn't have anything that works, if he has nothing that works,
I don't know. They just came to me.
yeah, if he has nothing that works, then we're not going to waste our time. And there might be someone else that you should be talking to, and that person that you should be talking to now has a place that fits. And the fact that you went over there and wasted time and you missed this other one, that might have cost you 30 grand. Right. So it's not just about time, it's about that 1 hour wasted could have been 1 hour that made you $30,000. Right. So we're very disciplined in how we're using our time. That's very important. Right. I am not out there just to be running around meeting people, seeing places. Like that's not it. Because the time that I'm saving, if I'm not working, then what could I be doing? I could either be helping y'all or spending time with my beautiful wife and my lovely wife and my beautiful grandkids. Right. So, and you could be doing the same thing, even though you ain't married or got kids. but you could be spending time with people that you love, right? So,
Doing
so
my thing.
yeah, doing your thing, right? So that's it. I know you got your passions. God's giving you your gift and your passions too, and that's what your extra time is for. It ain't to be wasting time, you know, talking to people who you know, it ain't like you don't care, but you're gonna spend the time with the people that's you're gonna be able to benefit them, and they'll be able to benefit you, right? You do enough of that, then eventually you'll be able to do for a very long time, spend time with whoever you want, whenever you want. So, so that's it. That's all I got. Hopefully, hopefully that was helpful. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Good. So what we'll do now is I'll stop the stream. And if that was helpful, I don't know if anybody's watching, but if anybody is watching and you're on, I'm gonna stop sharing. But if anybody is watching and you're on, this is how this is one of the key pieces for Airbnb passive income, picking up places without owning property. You got to know how how to make sure you're not um, wasting your time and you're not being um, uh, emotional about these places, desperate or emotional just because someone wants to work with you, because you'll be working way harder than you have to, right? And so you do this right so you don't make the mistake, and then when you make the decisions, there'll be good decisions that will be a blessing to you, be a blessing to your family, be a blessing to the people that you're working with. And so this is just, and if you're a landlord out there that's also looking to work with people that are doing Airbnb arbitrage, then and you just want your rent, like that's smart, right? Because some people don't want to. I'm not trying to be involved with all this other stuff when it comes to learning how to do Airbnb or hosting guests or anything. Like I have a lot of landlords; they all know what we do, but their interest is just pay me my rent. That's it. Take care of the place, pay me my rent. I'm happy. Make as much money as you want, right? And if you got that, and you have someone like our students that are professional hosts who will take care of your places because this is their business, like they're all professionals, they're brilliant people, then and they know like what it takes to uh to uh to earn a dollar, so they respect other people's property, right? Because they respect their own, right? And so if you're landlords that are looking to establish great relationships with people, if you're a landlord that's looking to establish a great relationship with people who will lease your house without any tenant drama, then just message inside the chat, and I'll I'll connect you, because most likely it'll probably be me that'll be picking up some stuff, but my students, they'll be grabbing them too. So with that, you got this, and subscribe to the channel.